Down to the Final Four here in Memphis, Tennessee. Billy Hardwick Memorial Open here at Billy Hardwick's own bowling center, named after him. Tournament presented by Chris Hardwick. To our left, we've got a couple young players, Francois Louw, Matt Sanders. To our right, we've got a couple wily veterans in Chris Barnes and Brian LeClair, Craig Elliott, Van McNeil, and Phil Brillo on the call here. One game in each of these matches. They'll advance to the finals. One game for the title. What do you think we'll see here at Van?
A lot of high-scoring action here. It's been a great weekend here in Memphis, Tennessee. 73 bowlers started out in this field. We continue to make cuts all day today here to our Final Four. I'm expecting some high scores here.
And final practice is just about done. Tournament director Sam Zurich giving the instructions here. We've got other players and fans enjoying the coverage. And we're just a game away from the finals. PBA title on the line here in Memphis.
Got a little bit of everything in this Final Four here.
Got an interesting look from Chris Barnes as he left that 8-pin. I kind of looked back at him. He's like, not this again. I don't know if he can take that. What did he leave, 3 9-pins in that last round? My goodness
We
gracious.
have a 23-year-old rookie in Matt Sanders from Evansville, Indiana. A future Hall of Famer. Continues to leave those stone 8s and 9s from Double Oak, Texas. Mr. Chris Barnes looking to add to his career title amount and, of course, his legend. One of the leading candidates for PBA 50 Player of the Year. The man has been bowling out of his mind, going for his first PBA title out of Athens, New York. The one and only Brian LeClair.
Well, he's a leader for right now. He's won 2 titles. He won the Johnny Petraglia. He won Pasco County. You know, he had a great finish last week at the Open. He's the man right now on the 50 Tour.
Yeah. And, of course, one of the top international players from South Africa, also going for his first title, Francois Louw. And the inaugural PBA Billy Hardwick Memorial Open presented by his son, Chris Hardwick. You know Chris Hardwick, NBC's The Wall, Thursday nights at 9/8 Central. Stand-up comedian as well, of course, at midnight on Comedy Central with new episodes returning on July 10th. Talking Dead right after Fear of the Walking Dead on AMC. And this weekend, I was hoping Chris would have been in town for this, but he has a music and comedy festival going on right now as we speak in Mountain View, California. The inaugural Idiot Festival over there, and he's doing some stand-up in California. So
Almost feels like we should be at that event for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it seems like a perfect fit.
Great showing of support here at Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. It's been a great weekend. Greg and the entire crew here.
So a little different now. 1 game, not 3 game total pins, 1 game. Chris Barnes starting things off over on lane 7. As we mentioned, he had a little 9-pin issue. I think he left 3 of them in his last match. Francois Louw got past Mike Wolf. Matt Sanders, obviously his best finish on the national tour. This is only his 6th event, 2nd regional last week in Marion, Indiana. He went to Marion University.
Right.
So good in his hometown last week. He's here now.
Absolutely. The boy from Evansville, Indiana. Brian LeClair with the light mixer strike.
And no time to feel things out, just a single game match.
Ooh. We did have a re-oil here between our rounds. Each round, round 16, round of 12, round of 8. And here before our semifinal match. Our bowlers going after that $10,000 prize. Nice chunk of change. Also the inaugural PBA Billy Hardwick Memorial Open title.
There's a look at the lefty, Matt Sanders, the lone lefty still alive in this field. As 3 of them made the top 16. 4, I believe, actually. We're down to just 1 now. And Brian LeClair, no stranger to winning. 27 total PBA titles between national titles and regional titles, senior titles. He knows how to get it done. 39 career 300s on the PBA Tour.
That's pretty good.
But another guy here, Chris Barnes, 45 total titles and 55 300s on the PBA Tour. I mean, 1998 Rookie of the Year, 07-08 Player of the Year. These guys got some experience. It's just interesting how the bracket played out. We got the 2 most experienced guys against the 2 least experienced guys. And we have 2 guys with a chance. One of these guys here on this pair will bowl for their first title today.
Yep.
Guaranteed. But they're going to have their work cut out for them, whether it's Mr. Barnes, which we have to call him because he's older than both of us.
Absolutely.
And Mr. LeClair. Yeah, I've lost track of how many total games we sat through now. 8-game qualifier yesterday, 4-game Cashers round. What did we go through? A dozen games already.
Yep.
And the 3-game matches, and here we're down just to the final 2.
Chris May. Ball change. You can only come in with 2 balls. But he's already gone to the other early in this semifinal match.
Yeah, the one ball he's got is the old PBA 50 ball they used in one of the plastic events early on. This is only 4th plastic event that's been contested, plastic-only event. And he kind of went back into the archives of the basement down in Double Oak and found this one and said, hey, Kirk, can I use this? Perfect. He's got that plus, you know, just a branded solid plastic spare ball with, I don't know if there's any type of weight block in it at all.
Right.
Which is what he switched to on lane 7 there.
A lot of these balls with the pancake weight block evens it out for everybody. 40-foot oil pattern, low volume. That polyester ball, you're going to see the move in here.
Well, these guys can still get it to find some friction and create a little bit of shape. But it's who can actually have a ball that's got something left when it hits a pocket. How, you know, I mean, because we saw a lot of balls roll out early. Light volume,
right?
Less than 8 mils. Yeah, it's 40 feet, but it's, I mean, you're talking, I don't even know how to explain how little oil is out there. I mean, it's like a 64th of a teaspoon or less. I mean, that's how much
it's
oil
that
we're talking.
minimal, yeah.
Yeah, it's not much at all. It's so, these guys can create some shape, but you got to retain some energy.
PBA 50 Player of the Year candidate, Brian LeClair. He's been there all throughout this tournament.
And an early break.
And a lot of stone 8s, stone 9s, wrap 10s, wrap 7s for our lefties. Here we're thinking we're going to see a weekend of washouts, and that was not the case at all.
No, I mean, I think early on, first couple games it was, but then the guys got their feet in the right spot and just kind of took that out of play. Tell you what, Matt Sanders, he is not showing any fear this week at all. Front 3, real quick against Francois Louw. Does he realize that he's not supposed to be? I mean, yes, he's talented, but this is his first show.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, show some nerves, kid. I mean, collegiate bowler, successful there. But we're not seeing it. Great start.
3 little letters that even you league and house bowlers can put into your lexicon. PTW, play to win. No time to waste out here.
No. I'm not sure what a lexicon is, but I'm going to have to Google that later.
Trip 10.
Van McNeil, Phil Barlow here. Semifinal matches live from Memphis, Tennessee. Big early lead for Matt Sanders.
Wow.
Francois Louw needs it. He knows now it's time to strike. Ooh, just kind of pushing the pins out the back of the deck, but it's an X on the scoreboard. They'll take it. Needs a strike to stay within 11. And just flat 10. And that's the lead we've seen a lot. Just the flat 10 because there's just nothing. There's just no energy. You know, your newer balls, they're going to send pins flying. These balls, you have to be so precise to get them to fall correctly. And there it is. Yeah, didn't like that one either. Got his feet ahead of him.
There's the price.
Feet ahead of him, and that ball just never caught up.
2-10 for Louw.
And that's a shot for Louw there that other players will stop, right? But he's just, he just doesn't, he's not used to it maybe. And I mean, we've seen Barnes do it. We'll probably see him do it today. He knows in step 2 or 3, he'll just stop and regroup when your feet get that far ahead of you. Norm Duke's a great example. He's kind of got a timing step in his approach where if he's not in a certain spot at the push away, done. Just not going to go any farther.
And surprised not to see a Norm Duke out here. You would think with his style of play, he would dominate at something like this. And
Grip 6.
And what a break. The fist pump getting the crowd going here.
He's saying that makes up for one of those 9 pins. One of them. Not all of them, just one. Hey, I can't believe a guy like Norman. He's taking a little break after the long PBA 52 or they're on hiatus for a little bit. And Sanders, he's not on hiatus.
No, out of
Yahtzee.
Evansville, Indiana, and that's where we wrap up things on the PBA 50 Tour.
He's not old enough. I don't think he'll be able to sneak in and bowl that event. Brian LeClair will be there. But
Absolutely.
I don't think they're going to let Matt Sanders shoe up for that one.
LeClair at 52 years old. And right there. So LeClair at 52, Sanders at just 23 years old.
Eagles got to hurry. Got a little wiggle room though. He's all right.
No messenger 10 on there, but we saw it in the round of 8. Brian LeClair. Ball started to roll right around the arrows and make its move. That caught up a little too late on his last throw. Textbook.
Well, he was sure he missed it, but when I look on the telescore, he made it. Francois Louw. He's got the right lane. 3 strikes. Left lane, not so much.
Different story. Barnes taking a re-rack.
Yeah, just slowing things down a little
in
bit.
This match, absolutely. Recompose yourself. Get back into the routine.
Well, a double, he can get right back in this. So take a little extra time, calm things down, slow things down. These one-game matches, they can be over before you realize it. Asking it to peel. Ooh. Directing some traffic out there.
Yeah.
There's a much better shot.
Back on track. 2 opens, 3 strikes.
It's all timing for Francois. And don't forget, coming up
tomorrow
night,
Craig and Phil, you guys head to Shawnee, Oklahoma, the PBA King of Bowling, Tommy Jones versus Wes Malott. Are you going to make a pick, Craig?
Oh, I can't pick against Wes. He's bigger than me.
$2.99 gets you the pay-per-view tomorrow out of Shawnee, Oklahoma. The neat thing about that, as well as,
Like I said, timing step. It'll bring it back.
the $2.99 pay-per-view fee that you pay to watch the PBA King of Bowling, that goes right into the Bowlers Prize Fund. So spread the word. Tell your family, tell your friends. Tomorrow here, PBA King of Bowling.
Write a note, tape it to your dog's leash, collar, throw a tennis ball down the street, and let everybody read it. 7:40 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Live pregame with myself and Randy Peterson. Live from Shawnee for the King of Bowling. And that's how you stop, reset, make a quality shot for Chris Barnes. And
take your time out here. There's no
we
need
got
to
a match.
rush.
Very nice spare conversion for Matt Sanders. You see his reaction. I think his heart's pumping on that one a little bit.
Just a little. LeClair slowing down here, taking a re-rack of his.
Brian, he knows the game too. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to go at his pace.
It's about being comfortable, consistent, and in your zone. Brian has been there in all of these rounds. He's been on this Sunday.
Has he shot under 200 in matches yet today? Doesn't feel that way. I don't know if he shot under 220.
He did have a 168 his last game of the
Well,
round.
yeah, that match was over. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just kind of, I mean, not like he was not trying to bowl, but that match was well.
Right.
He was up by 130 or something going in, so. LeClair to keep it even.
Right there,
At
trip
10-10.
10. Showing a little bit of
224.
emotion.
Sorry.
Nope.
224 max for Francois Louw.
Another trip 10.
But Matt Sanders pacing 230s. So Francois maybe just a couple frames
Too
shy.
little, too late.
We got to finish things up. He's got to fill frames, but
Only time will tell.
Louw has got to get them all.
Chris Barnes taking his second re-rack.
At my angle, our angle, we can't quite see if there is a pin-off spot there. Maybe with 3 in a row on that one there is, but they're still just trying to.
Like you said earlier, Craig, take a beat,
ready.
reset, get back into your routine.
Let's
and
try
we'll
that. Ready?
have a moment to tell you not only tomorrow, Monday, the PBA King of Bowling, but we wrap up our main event PBA Tour Finals Tuesday night on CBS Sports Network, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. E.J. Tackett, Jason Belmonte. It's going to be a showdown. And he didn't like it, but a crossover strike is a crossover strike.
All right, I took my deep breaths. I took my reset. I'm ready to go.
Oh, you ready to go?
I'm ready to
All
go.
right.
You know what? Louw didn't like that, but he needed it, so he just
Right.
just say thank you. Now make a quality shot. Is Matt Sanders going to give him an opportunity? We're about to find out. If both these players strike out, LeClair wins by 1 pin, 258-257. That's got to go.
Wow.
Gosh.
Trip 10 again. And you almost think he's going to run out of lane with that line that Chris is playing. Meanwhile, Evansville, Indiana's Matt Sanders.
That's it. A couple of spares would have done it. That strike is all it's
Seals
going
the
to take.
deal.
Yeah, 8 outs, 228. So get good count. Matt Sanders will advance to bowl for his first title and only his 6th PBA national event. Top 24 at the USBC Masters this year.
Barnes made a change there from lane 8 to lane 7,
Yeah,
but it was definitely a different
little bit
line.
more inside on
Yeah.
lane 7. A little bit, yeah.
Sanders are only lefty out here. Trip 7.
Matt Sanders is going to bowl for the title here in Memphis, his first one.
Wow.
But great week for Francois Louw. 22nd at the Cheetah, 25th in World Championships in Reno last fall. And he's going to have a 3rd, 4th finish here in the Billy Hardwick Memorial. And he's only been a PBA member for about a year. So not a bad start to his PBA career either. Big break again for LeClair. Getting that count was very, very important. 7 spare would have been much worse than 9 spare when we start adding up the final tally.
Another 9 count, Sanders. Two, 5, 3 for Mr. Sanders. So the 23-year-old out of Indiana takes out the South African in Francois Louw. Had a great outing here. Athens, New York is the place for Brian LeClair.
It's disappointing, but a good solid finish for Louw. I mean, he's striking out after that rough start. It was that lane 11 that got him. A couple early opens. Other than that, it's, you know, it's been nothing but strikes, but unfortunately it took him a little bit too long to figure out that left lane, and that's been the deciding factor. .223, 253, Matt Sanders. Bowl for a title. I'm kind of excited for him. I mean, you think he walked, I mean, yeah, these players come to win, but you think he walked in here yesterday saying, I'm going to bowl for a title tomorrow, realistically?
Well, I don't think any bowler comes in with that mentality. You take it game by game, frame by frame. Otherwise, if you start thinking big, you might knock yourself out of the tournament early.
So 237 for Brian LeClair. I think Chris needs a mark, decent count and a mark. Is that right? I think 257 was his max. Inside
Looks
of target.
good.
That was inside of target all the way. Yeah, 236 is his max, right? Yeah, it's gonna be one pin.
Needed that
Yeah,
first
he needed that
strike,
one.
yeah.
Wasn't sure what he had back there a little bit farther. Needed that first one. Chris made a lot of good shots that match.
Absolutely.
No question.
And did some digging to get into this position that he's in now.
But Brian LeClair with
Yeah.
that, I mean, the season he's having already.
So
We'll go for the title. LeClair and Sanders coming up next, live from Memphis.
the youngster versus the senior.
All fans have a great round of applause for our round of 4. Brian LeClair 237 over Chris Barnes 236. Matt Sanders 253 over Francois Louw 223. This sets up
Thank you.
our championship match, which will take place on lanes 9 and 10. We're going to give the players a couple minutes to gather their thoughts, make any necessary ball changes, and we're going to get underway with their practice in a couple minutes on lanes 9 and 10.
All right, we get the announcement from our tournament director, Van McNeil, Craig Elliott, Phil Brylow here in the Xtra Frame booth. PBA Billy Hardwick Memorial Open presented by his son, Chris Hardwick, hanging here at Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. And we talked to him yesterday. We had to bring him in today to do some more reminiscing. Are you going to stand or are you going to sit, Donnie?
Whatever you want me to do.
Here you go. You take the mic, Donnie, and that one is yours there.
All right.
Donnie Ackland joins us here, and yesterday we were talking about Billy, and explain to the people who you are. We see your name up there on the awning. You are a Hall of Fame patron here at Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. How does one get that accolade?
Actually, I didn't know this was going to be happening. I paid the Hall of Fame patron, when I have
Okay.
get all the benefits for the whole day.
Sure, sure.
Hand at the door. You're here for the whole 3 days, plus the programs included,
Right.
and the posters, and the
You get the whole experience
the whole
here.
experience,
Yeah.
basically, the whole experience, basically. And I would suggest anybody who's will come next year, come on, get the whole thing.
Yeah,
it's an experience
absolutely.
you won't get anywhere else.
And we're seeing
Oh,
the,
yes.
the man that we are
Man.
honoring here
Yes, sir.
this evening.
Yes,
Your
sir.
friend, Mr. Billy
William
Hardwick.
Bruce Billy Hardwick.
One more time.
William Bruce Billy Hardwick.
There you go. That's, of course, is the
Middle High Life commercial.
the Miller commercial.
Yeah, that was his sponsor back in the day.
Right. And so you and Billy were friends. You hung out. You knew the man.
30, going on almost 32 years.
Wow.
It was really, really, I guess you would use the word strange. My son actually wanted to meet Billy for years and years and years, and he actually
Okay.
subbed with my team on the week before Billy passed. And a lot of people probably don't know it. Billy had moved to Florida for about 7 years and came back. He would come back about every 6 months, take care of business here and visit with people.
Right.
And he came back, and actually his wife Rebecca was bowling on 7 and 8. My team was on 5 and 6. They finished about a frame ahead of us. And
Okay.
Billy said it was one of the nights that Billy and I always talk about. It was one of the nights like old home week. We were sitting right next to each other. We talked in between frames,
Sure.
and we got through. Matter of fact, I had thrown my last field ball in the 10th frame. And Billy walked up and he said, "Well, Donnie, I'll see you in a couple of weeks." I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "We're going to Rebecca and I going to Florida." I said, "Look, Billy, don't go down there and find another house. Be gone 7 years. You just got back."
So you had an inkling that he was going to make a move.
So they went down, but he said no. He said, his partner Alan. He said Alan's birthday is on the 16th. We'll be back. We'll be flying back Saturday morning because he's having a boat. We're going to have a bowling party for him on Saturday night.
Of course.
No. Naturally, no idea what was going to happen. I got a text at 8:35 on Saturday morning, November the 16th, telling me that Billy had passed away, waiting on the plane in the waiting area in the airport in Florida. Needless to say, I went into immediate tears. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It took me about like 10 minutes to kind of compose myself and text the person back that did me. I said, "This is not a joke." They said, "No, it's not a joke. He had a heart attack." Needless to say, very, very despondent.
Right.
Very despondent. I mean, death's not. None of us are guaranteed the next breath, but
Right. That's why you live every day. to your
every
fullest.
day like it's the last,
Yeah,
because
absolutely,
and leave everything on a good note with people, because that may be the last time you see them, and you don't want a bad feeling, anywhere.
Right.
But
Right. But hearing that news, Donnie,
It
had
was-
to be just
it was
a
devastating.
punch in the gut.
very devastating, very devastating. But after I kind of composed myself and kind of got my thoughts together, I realized, I said, well, you know something? Billy and I shook hands for the last time about 11 days ago, and my son got to meet him.
What he wanted to do.
So
Yeah.
it was, you know, when I called my son after about an hour later, after I got the news, Chris, my son's name is Chris, but his spells name with a K. He said, "You're kidding." I said, "No, Chris, I wouldn't kid nothing about that." I said, "But at least you got a chance to meet him." He said, "Well, Daddy, like I told you, he's just like you said he was." You know, Billy talked to him. It was like he'd known him all his life, and he'd only known him about like 5 minutes. So.
Now, you talk about your son, Chris. You must have known Billy's son, Chris, as well.
He never actually got a chance to meet Chris. He's seen him on TV.
Okay, obviously.
My son's a musician. Actually, I nicknamed I gave my son Chris after K after Chris Christopherson.
Okay, all
so
right.
it was he kind of worked his way into the music business.
Gotcha.
But I was mentioning the field this morning, something I thought about yesterday afternoon I really should have said. You know, not only inside this bowling center and the bowling industry, Billy also was very, very active in the community. He was the honorary chairman from 87 to 89. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was either 86, 89.
Right.
For the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization.
Right. Well, not only
and when they did their fundraisers, he opened up the door, no lineage, no nothing. He put the whole bill. He said, "Just a fundraiser for your charity, go for it."
That's amazing.
Billy was a family person. He loved people, as I said yesterday. Did the same thing for St. Jude.
Right.
They did their bowling fund.
Open up the center to the community.
Exactly.
Letting them raise funds for
And
the organization.
I would have known that if I hadn't been that close to Billy. A lot of people didn't know. Billy didn't have an ego problem. You know, he was very, very humble. You know, and like I said yesterday, you know, Billy would give you your shirt off his back if you needed it. I mean, he was just that type person. Obviously,
we have the internet and we can read all about the history on Billy
yes.
Hardwick, but
Yes.
to live it, breathe it, know the man, and commiserate with him.
I wouldn't give up those 31 years for nothing. They were a true experience of a true and loyal friend. And I know y'all do a lot of trivia questions sometimes on Xtra Frame. Like I said, I get my $7.99 a month.
Thank you very much.
Well, if it's on, I'm looking at it. So,
Right, good. Thank you.
If it's not, I catch the archive. But I was asking Phil this morning, so for trivia question, and I was surprised Phil didn't know this. The listeners out there, or your Mike, y'all know who Chris Hardwick was named after?
Who was Chris Hardwick named after? Not your son, Chris. No, but
Chris Hardwick.
Chris
Who
Hardwick.
did Billy name him after?
I don't. I'm not
True.
sure. I'm not sure.
Give you a hint.
Okay.
Saturday afternoon.
Chris Schenkel.
Chris Schenkel.
Oh my goodness! No way.
Billy really, really thought the world of Chris Schenkel, and like the podcast y'all were talking about, I heard y'all. I went back and listened to the archive last night to see something like.
Was that's not? Is that not an amazing 2 hours?
Oh, listen, it was actually recorded right there in Billy's office.
Oh my gosh, right here.
But everything that Billy talked about on that podcast with Chris, we used to listen to. I told y'all we had the Master League on Friday night. After the league was over with, I heard all those stories in there.
Oh my gosh.
I never knew. I heard the story, but the name was never mentioned. Who Billy helped get a sponsor after 3 tournaments because he had so much talent. Until George Pappas came down for Billy's funeral, and he started telling me the story, and I'm like, and Butch and I out there talking, and I told George, I said, George, I'm glad you made it down. I know it was an 11-hour drive. You know, George doesn't like to fly. And he said, Donnie, I couldn't have missed this if I'd wanted to. He said, if it hadn't been for Billy, I would have made a living on the tour.
Right, he wouldn't have been
and I'm
out here.
And Butch said, what's wrong with you, Donnie? I said, hold up. That was you that cashed, barely made the cut, didn't cash the 3rd tournament, and you owed your sponsor money, and Billy went and got Miller to sponsor you for 3 more tournaments, and told you, I'll see you in Milwaukee. He said, that was me.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, oh, my God. But again, Billy did not take a lot of credit for anything. Right. If he could help you, he helped you.
Yeah, returning the favor, but not with any accolades or recognition.
Exactly.
That's the kind of person that he was.
Like Billy told me, I did it for George, just like Dick did it for me. Gave me advice.
You have to pay it forward. And we see that out here with the young guys and the senior guys. But I'm sure the dynamic has changed from back in the day.
Oh, yes, definitely.
The Nerdist podcast, Nerdist.com, is where Chris does all of his podcasting.
Oh, yes.
And you can listen to that episode. It is in the archives. It is
Oh,
a good
yes.
2 hours, and you will hear the man and his son.
Matter of fact, I knew about it. I knew they were. I didn't know it was, what the link was to it or anything. Like I said, it was recorded right in Billy's office one night. A friend of mine called me, of course, because he knew Billy and I were real good friends. And he said, "You okay?" I said, "I'm dealing with it the best as I can." I said, Rebecca, I was praying for them to have a safe flight back, and I knew I couldn't say exactly what she was going through, but I could definitely relate.
Sure.
He said, "Well, look," he said, "I know you probably won't listen to it till tomorrow night, but after Billy's feast," he lives in Reno.
Okay.
He said, "I can't make it to town." He said, "But I'll be thinking about y'all." He said, "But have you ever heard the podcast?" I said, "No." I said, "I know Chris and Billy recorded it in Billy's office, but I never, He said, "I'm going to email you the link." So the night after Billy's funeral, I went and listened to it.
Okay.
And it was like
You had to
all
be
of
emotional.
this was sitting right in there. I mean, I was laughing one minute, kind of crying the next.
And Billy shares a great story. We're looking at the Miller Lite commercial again about how that all happened.
All it transpired, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fun story. I don't want to give away too much.
No, everybody that's listening right now, get the podcast. It's worth 2 hours, trust me.
Yeah, Nerdist.com. It's Chris Hardwick's home. Chris talking to his father for a good 2 hours. It's unfiltered and some great bowling stories.
Oh, yes.
So, Mr. Ackland, it's been a pleasure.
It's Donnie. I'm like Billy.
Oh, okay. All right, Donnie. Donnie, it has been a pleasure. Greg and the whole crew here at All-Star Lanes, it's just been nothing but hospitable. And the people around here in Memphis, you guys are amazing. And thank you for being
Like I told y'all yesterday, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I had no idea this was coming. Rebecca shocked me with it yesterday. I'm like,
so
great.
This was a surprise to you.
Oh, yes. She walked up to me. She said, "Well, do you want to do an interview with Xtra Frame?" I'm like,
good.
Okay, well, I know they're going to ask me questions, but what I say after that?
Oh, we're just having a conversation here, just like we would with anybody here in this bowling center.
I didn't talk to Pete last night, but I did send him a text,
Okay.
and I told him, I said, Xtra Frame crew says, "Stay off the golf course," and I told him I doubt it. But he said to tell y'all he was fine.
Oh, good.
He will see y'all in Hammond, so
good.
He's coming.
Good.
He's coming.
To see him go out in Indianapolis the way that he did, and we had heard that he had withdrew from the tournament. Like, that doesn't sound like a Pete Weber, but he's recovering at home, probably on the golf course.
He's had more WDs in the last year and a half than he's had in his whole career, and it's all been due to the knees and the backs. And at Welch last year, is when actually I don't know what the temperature was in Minnesota at the time, but they were extremely tacky. That's where he really started having the knee problems, which led into he favored the knee, so then it started affecting his hip.
Right.
And because they did diagnose him finally with a little bit of sacroiliac problem, and he says, "I didn't know there was such a thing." Yes. It's not just Fred Sanford. It was a certain thing.
You got to listen to your body as you get older.
That's right. And then, of course, it turned into they found out he actually had arthritis in his lower back. So they had him on I think it was an Abubaton was the medication, and it was working great.
Like
He says,
"I
feel great." And then the next thing you know,
well,
other things started popping up.
Right.
So,
that's what happens when you get old. So
I said, "Pete, I learned a long time ago. I heard a man say, I mentioned I worked at Firestone. We had a guy out there, and he said, you're getting old when you hurt places that you didn't know you had places to hurt." And when I turned 40 25 years ago, I started understanding what he meant.
Yeah, well, I'm turning 41 now. Or I just turned 41, and boy, I'm feeling it more now than ever.
Well, I get up some days. Oh yeah, I get up some days, feel great. Some days, a little slow. But thank y'all guys.
Absolutely, Donnie, Mr. Ackman. Thank you, Donnie.
Thank you,
Absolutely. Thanks, Donnie. Some great insight on the man that we are honoring here in our inaugural PBA Billy Hardwick Memorial Open, presented by Chris Hardwick. So down to the championship match as we have our final seconds of practice here. PBA 50 Player of the Year candidate, Brian LeClair.
All right,
Fans, I think the pros are ready. We're ready to get underway with our
taking on 23-year-old rookie from Evansville, Indiana, Mr.
Brian chooses to have
Matt Sanders.
on the left lane. The bowlers are ready. Phil's ready. Van's ready. I'm ready. The fans are ready. It's time for this title match here in Memphis. Brian LeClair has been winning a lot already this year, taking on the newcomer Matt Sanders. You know, we haven't seen a lot of nerves from Matt, but this is a title match.
Yeah.
This first shot, I think, is going to be a big tell for what we're going to see.
Now, our semifinal match happening on 7 and 8 and 11 and 12. Our championship pair here in 9 and 10 has fresh oil. All of our players here, we had 73 players to start yesterday. We've whittled it down all the way to these two. All players only checking 2 plastic balls for the event, making this a very unique outing.
Yeah, 73 to 24 to 12 to 8 to 4 to 2, I believe is
correct. 16, 12, 8 semi and championship match right now.
And Matt Sanders from Evansville, Indiana. First shot, his first ever championship match.
All 10 in the pit.
We've seen that before from Matt today. You know, I think until that last match, we haven't caught him on camera. He was down on the end pairs, kind of back and forth in the bracket. And last match was the first time we saw him on camera. And
right, Cashers round this morning made a move to get into the round of 16 and then just grounded out in each round.
he shot 289 game 4
Yeah.
to cement himself in that top 16. Both players start with a strike.
Another look at LeClair. And that's the line he's been playing this whole tournament. A little bit of a double bounce, but no trip 10.
Yeah, a little flat 10 action here. Look at this. Look, watch this 6-pin just fall in that flat gutter and stay there. So I'm tired. I'm not coming up. Just missed the bottom of the 10 by a couple inches.
LeClair looking for his first career title, as is the 23-year-old rookie, Matt Sanders.
Two national titles for Brian LeClair, 18 regionals, 3 senior nationals, and 4 senior regionals. 27 total titles for Brian LeClair. Out of Del Mar, New York. 20-hour drive to get here with the weather that we had from the hurricane. A little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, a little of this and that, but he made it. He was in Vegas just a week ago. Finished second in the Senior U.S. Open. Michael Halligan picked up his first title on the PBA 52 as a major, and Matt Sanders. How about that? Doubling up to start the championship match.
"23 years old. What were you doing at 23 years old, Craig?"
That's a darn good question. I'm not sure I can remember that, to be totally honest.
I was in Chicago. Actually, I was in Milwaukee at that time. I had put any hopes of the PBA Tour behind me, focusing on a radio and television career, and now I'm involved that way, and I love it.
Matt Sanders inside of target. Didn't matter.
Wow.
Didn't matter one bit. LeClair's not ready to give this one up yet. Not a chance. Strike, spare, strike. How about this one? He knew it 50 feet. That was 10 back.
Been a great weekend here in Memphis. You can catch all the action archived here on Xtra Frame. So if you've missed anything, if you missed Chris Barnes in the booth earlier with us, catch all of that action over in the archives.
And I do apologize for all you Brian LeClair fans yelling at the monitors. Yeah, 2 TV appearances on National Tour, but yet to get that first title. 433 events.
What's that? What was that? I wonder how Matt Sanders is feeling out here. 23-year-old rookie in search of his first title.
See the test of nerves on this one. Another double wood. He shot the 2-8 in his last match. It's 3-9. You got to get the ball to travel a little bit farther cross lane. Do you go straight at it? Do you hook it a little bit? Do you risk catching a little bit of oil where we've seen the ball not catch any friction?
Wow.
Good clean living right there. Skinny jeans all day long.
Giving everyone some excitement here at Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes.
Hear the crowd.
Yeah, it's intense in here. And if you have the chance, if we are ever in town, we thank you for your subscription to Xtra Frame, obviously. But if you can watch these bowlers and meet these guys in person, you will learn so much more. So down to earth, very personable. Great group of guys here on the tour. Even in the women who were on earlier today, CBS Sports Network out of Green Bay. Light mixer strike. He didn't like it.
Oh, talking to him a little bit again.
Yeah.
He just didn't quite get out of it right. You heard it thumping a little bit. You know what? They all fall down. Brian LeClair can take the lead with a strike.
Light mixer will go. It's been going all weekend here in Memphis.
Watch this 4-pin fall forward. What hits it? Something from behind.
Walks it off with a sigh of relief.
Watch this 8-pin just fall off the back of the pin deck. Just gets pushed. Get out of there.
As a bowler, won his first tour title after the age of 50.
Great
That
question.
is a great question. Brian LeClair at 52 years old. Hard to think of a bowler over 50 getting his first career title.
Yeah, obviously on the PBA 52, we've seen it several times. The Gene Stuss, Ron Moore, those kind of guys that didn't really come out until they were in their 50s. But on national title, I don't know. Matt Sanders, he's got something to say about that, though.
Playing between the first and second arrow.
So these kids come out here on tour now, and they got no fear. Obviously, look, he's calm. I mean, he doesn't seem to be nervous at all. We don't see him sweating. We don't see him going to the hand dryer.
Right.
Just going through the motions, doing his thing, very well prepared.
Well, you got to stay calm, cool, and collected out here. You get over emotional. You start to get down on yourself after a few bad throws, and you can take yourself out of a match easily.
You can tell me you wouldn't be shaking in your boots out there right now, bowling for a title?
Absolutely, I would. Absolutely. But you gotta.
That was a quality shot right there.
You gotta bury that stuff, Craig, and focus on the task at hand, as Mr. Sanders is.
Great point.
10 in the pit and back here to the air conditioner to keep his hand cool.
LeClair up by 2.
Let's take a look and see what happened here. Along the same line, and never gained any ground there into the pocket. Yeah, head pin between the 4 and the 7, not taking out anything there.
All right, make the spare. Take care of business. 148 in the 6th.
A very big thank you to our sponsors of the PBA, like Barbasol, Brunswick, Geico, HotelPlanner.com, the United States Bowling Congress, and the big news just a few days ago out of Bowl Expo, just down the freeway in Nashville, GoBowling.com. Fun will start there. The World Series of Bowling in Reno. And
Ball started going left early, but it held.
a break for LeClair.
And how about all our sponsors here? Our patron sponsors, Donnie Ackland, you talked to, Josh Cornell, Jeff Trzymski, and all the sponsors you see on those banners. Great job by the staff here at Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. Over 60 sponsors for this event. A lot of hard work, and they're ready to do it again after a couple days to relax and take a deep breath.
And Sam right over
Sammy
there.
Zurich.
Yeah, Sammy Zurich running the show here. Very big thank you to everyone here in Memphis. It's been a great weekend, and looking forward to doing this again next year.
Big shot for Sanders. The 10-pin goes.
That's the line he's been playing. A little light into the head pin, but light mixer strikes all day here at All-Star Lanes.
You know, LeClair still got 258 possible, but Sanders can still shoot 270.
Right.
My goodness. What a championship match here in Memphis.
We've had a lot of great bowling here this weekend. Even in the rounds of 16, 12, and 8 came down to those last few throws. And a variety of bowlers.
Yeah, I mean, we can't create the drama. We've just had some great matches. They come down to final shots one way or the other. A 9-pin here, a missed spare we saw earlier.
Yeah.
A lot of great shots, quality bowling happening.
Solid pocket strike. You know, coming into this a little naive. I wasn't expecting the ball to move as much as it is out here. A low volume 40-foot pattern.
These guys got some tricks. That's another three-letter acronym, PBA. These guys are good. LeClair's got to have them all.
Ooh.
Yeah, he needed all of them for 258 to force 9 spare strike from Sanders.
Was it ball speed? Not really. Inside of where he's been playing. Been playing around 3 or 4. He was right over first arrow. All 10 need to go in the pit here. Three times in the 10th frame.
He can max 238.
Yeah.
7 out would be 239 for Sanders. So there's really not a lot Brian LeClair can do. He's got to get them all and just hope for something. But
we've seen
almost impossible right now. But
you know, if you have been following the Professional Bowlers Association, it's not over until it's over.
That's how you kick that 10 out.
We've seen crazier things with a title on the line and a ball off the ankle, a ball off the leg into the channel.
Got to fill the frames. Got to make it all official. But LeClair needs this one to put any type of pressure on the youngster, Matt Sanders. Look great off his hand.
Light mixer strike again for the 52-year-old. Got back outside of that first arrow. Inside that first arrow, you're high flush through the nose. And a 237 for Brian LeClair.
Victory lap for Matt Sanders. What a ball game he's putting up. First ever championship match, only a 6th ever title on a PBA tour. And he's going to leave Memphis with some hardware.
Oh, boy. No matter.
No, just need to stay behind fall line. We have a champion. And the crowd just realized it too as they saw. There we go. Nobody was really sure there. Billy Hardwick Memorial champion Matt Sanders.
243 to a 237. The 23-year-old from Evansville, Indiana. And his first PBA title in the PBA Billy Hardwick Memorial Open, presented by his son, Chris Hardwick. You can check out all of the archives for all of the action here this weekend from Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes, Memphis, Tennessee.
Congratulations, Matt Sanders. Only your 6th PBA event, and you're leaving Memphis with a title. I mean, what's going through your mind?
I don't know, really. Grateful to be here. I've been wanting to do this since I was a kid, so this is awesome. Thanks to everybody here. Thanks to all the sponsors. Thanks to the Hardwick family and everybody for having this today. This is a unique event. Definitely different, so very grateful to win this. Thank you.
Well, you put a scare into all of us here after that split in the 10th. We knew it was over, but not everybody here was sure. And I don't know if you realized it, adding those 7 pins up, but a great match. Congratulations, Brian LeClair, on the 2nd place finish. Brian having a great season on the PBA 50 Tour. But this is Matt Sanders' title here in Memphis. Congratulations, Matt. Let's bring out Gary Beck, our promoter, and Rebecca Hardwick. We've got a trophy for you here.
You're not doing it Billy Hardwick style. His first year on tour, he bowled 18 events and didn't win a penny. My understanding is this your first year on tour?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your first national PBA title. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
And Rebecca, we've got some money here for Mr. Sanders.
I just want to say thank you so much for being here, supporting Billy Hardwick in this tournament. We appreciate you. Congratulations on your first win, and $10,000 is an awesome win. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Matt, any final words for family, friends, sponsors out there?
Thanks to Track, everybody International, Billy Gray, Gray's Pro Shop, my mom and dad, thank you very much for getting me out here. Brent Phillips, thanks for getting me out here. I appreciate it.
Congratulations again, Matt Sanders, on your first win. Could be one of several out here on the PBA Tour.